It may seem like there are a lot of specific rules when it comes to finance, but your personal financial situation is unique to you, and finance is not one size fits all. So if you're already doing research online or on social media, that's awesome. I want you to keep it up, but make sure that you're fact checking your sources, keeping your personal financial situation in mind, and make sure that you do your research across all sources. Just because someone says something on social media doesn't mean it's right.
Yes, that's a thing, something that we've all learned lately, I think.
Yeah, especially over the last year.
So when it comes to, I guess, let's start with the first one, whether people should carry a credit card balance and whether it actually boosts your credit score or not.
Yeah, so I've seen online that people are saying if you carry a balance from month to month, that helps your credit score. And that is in fact not true at all. You want to make sure that you're paying off your credit card in full each month if you're able, because when you carry a balance from month to month, it's not only hurting your credit score, but you're also paying high interest on that balance that's being carried over. So make sure that you're paying that off in full each month, and make sure you're checking your credit score at least annually. Credit Karma is a free source. There's a few other ones, just to make sure that you don't have any outstanding bills that need to be paid, and to also check for fraud and things like that.
Right. And the time-honored advice has been for people to set aside 3 to 6 months of living expenses in a emergency fund. What myth is need to be busted there?
Yeah, so this is a great place to start. It's definitely a common rule of thumb. However, if we learned anything over the past year with the pandemic, it's that things change and it's better to be prepared. So if you were, face financial hardship over the last year, if you have variable income, if you're self-employed, if you're a one income household, it may be better to hold closer to 1 year of living expenses in an emergency fund, and potentially even more. Again, this is something that's very unique to your own situation. So you need to determine what's best for you. But three months, even 6 months might not be enough for your situation.
So we're in the middle of tax filing season, and lots of folks get excited when they get a large refund from Uncle Sam. Thoughts?
Yeah, it might be nice to receive a large refund this time of year, each year. However, that's not necessarily a good thing. Again, this is something that applies specifically to you. But when you receive a large refund each year, the government is actually holding your money for you throughout the year without paying any interest to you. So if you're receiving that money through each paycheck that you get, you definitely could put that money to work in different ways. And so the IRS has a really great tool. It's a tax withholding calculator. The link is in my article, and you can enter your information. It takes less than 5 minutes, and it will help you determine if you're withholding the right amount from each paycheck.
So lots of people think if they put money in a bank, in a checking account or savings account, that it's safe. They can't lose it.
Yeah, when someone says that, I assume they're thinking of FDIC insurance, which covers you up to $250,000, like if the bank was to go under or something like that. But you want to keep in mind, with inflation and purchasing power, the value of a dollar today is worth more than the value of a dollar in a year, 10 years, 20 years down the road. So once you've got your emergency fund fully funded, you want to make sure that you're investing the rest of the cash that you have to allow that money to grow for you over time and to build wealth.
Now, a big debate that many folks are having today is whether it's beneficial to buy a home instead of renting. What myth needs to be busted there?
Yeah, so this is something that is 100% dependent on you. Where do you live? What is the housing market like for you? And do you have enough money saved for a down payment? Obviously, owning a home is great because you're building equity in that home, but there are a lot of costs associated with that, with repairs and things of that nature. So it may be better to rent for the time being, especially if you're in a high cost of living area. And there's not a lot of inventory right now with the housing market. So it may be better to rent. It may be better to buy. It just depends on your situation. But don't let people peer pressure you into thinking you have to buy a home right now because interest rates are low, or that's what everyone seems to be doing with the pandemic. It's completely personal to your situation.
Yeah. So a lot of young adults I speak to are interested in investing, but they also think that they need a lot of money to do so.
Yeah, this isn't true at all. And it's best to start investing now. So if you're offered a workplace retirement plan, make sure that you're contributing to that, at least to get the full employer match, because that's investing you for retirement. If you're not offered a plan, that's okay. There's a lot of really great custodians out there. You can open an IRA or a Roth IRA, depending on your tax situation, and set up monthly contributions. Most of these brokerage firms allow you to start with under $100. So the key is to get started. You can increase your monthly contributions over time, but that is not true at all. You can start with as little as $25. So that is not a good excuse to not invest.
Right. And of course, other people say that it's just too complicated for young people to invest in the stock market.
Yeah, and that's not true either. Again, there's a lot of really great resources, to educate yourself, but it just comes down to setting up your automatic monthly contributions so you don't have to think about it. And you can just choose a total stock market mutual fund or ETF, exchange traded fund. So that's going to keep you very diversified, and that's a great place to start. And then as you get more educated and do more research, you can kind of get fancier with the investments along the way.
So a lot of folks who might go on social media might see this advice, which is you better pay off all your debt before you start investing. Thoughts about that?
Yeah, so you want to make sure that first, if you have a workplace retirement plan, you're contributing enough to get the employer match, because that's free money. Second, make sure that your emergency fund is fully funded. Again, rule of thumb is 3 to 6 months of living expenses, but it may be more depending on your personal situation. And third, you want to make sure that you pay off any high interest debt. So this is like credit cards. Sometimes those interest rates are like 20%. So if you have credit card debt, pay that down first. But if you have, loans or debt with interest rates under 7 to 10%, you want to start investing, because the S&P's average, over the last 10 years is about 9%. So technically you could earn more than you're paying with debt interest. So, and again, with compounding interest and the time value of money, you want your money to grow for you. So you need to start investing as soon as possible.
Yeah. And another myth that I think needs to be busted is the notion that all debt is bad.
Yep, absolutely. So again, debt isn't necessarily a great thing, but it can be beneficial. So credit cards are bad debt because you're not earning anything for carrying that debt and you're facing high interest rates. Car loans are typically bad debt because it's a depreciating asset. However, a mortgage can be considered good debt, one, because interest rates are so low right now, and it's allowing you to build equity through real estate. And student loans, you can go back and forth on this. I would consider it good debt if you have a solid repayment plan, because student loans allow you to achieve your career goals and probably make more money than you would without them. It just comes down to the management of them.